Right. Oh, wow. Some people are early. How are you guys doing? Let me put on my light.
Hello, Kuda.
Greetings, good evening. How are you doing?
Good, thanks, and yourself?
I am great.
Sorry, I'm not going to put my camera on today.
No problem, no problem. You guys are like 4-5 minutes early. Is that your standard procedure?
Yes, always.
Fascinating, quite fascinating. All right, I'm just gonna switch off my camera and mic and my camera and put something in the background while less people are arriving.
Are you going to send us this recording?
This recording will be available on the YouTube channel, even the previous ones.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes. Welcome, welcome all. Why is it doing this?
How long is this meeting going to be?
It is going to be 40 minutes only.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, 40 minutes only. We're just gonna share some ideas, but spreading, and we will be good.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome everybody. How are you doing? Do not hesitate.
I'm doing well.
Oh, that's good.
I'm doing well. I was on here yesterday, but I never catch the whole info session, so I decided to get on today.
That's good.
I had a problem logging on.
Yeah, so you were in and out. I remember mentioning
Yes.
your name and then you disappeared. I was wondering.
No, it's a little bit better today.
Nice, that's amazing. That's good. I'm just quickly getting everything ready for our session. So welcome everybody. My name is Kuda. I'm the curator for TEDxUniversityofSouthAfrica. Why am I saying Randburg? Funny. For TEDx University of South Africa. I'm the curator for TEDx University of South Africa and also a TED licensee at TEDx Randburg. Yeah, there's a huge difference. So a licensee is usually the person who basically is the custodian of TED in that institution. So for TEDxUniversity of South Africa, the licensee is Nonhlanhla, who I believe is in this call. Hi, Nonhlanhla.
Hi, Kuda. Hi, everyone.
So the time is 17:30, which is the official starting time. And I'm just going to welcome you again. My name is Kuda. I am the licensee for TED. Not the licensee. Oh my God, why am I getting this mumbo jumbo? I was once the licensee for TEDx Universities of South Africa, but now I'm just a curator, meaning I assist in ensuring that the brand of TED is well represented on stage by speakers, and ensuring that whoever is on stage to speak has has their content and their talk ready for the the TED platform on a global scale. So today you're on an info session for the College of Economics and Management Science. This is a sub-college, or this is a college of UNISA, and what we're going to do in today is that we're going to watch a TED talk relating to economics. And relating to economics, and then we're going to go into question and answer session where we basically answer, just after that, I will share with you some of the lessons that you should take home if you're an aspiring speaker or a speaker who's already preparing their talk for this event on the 2nd of October. Thereafter, we'll go into a question and answer session. Just as a point of introduction, I will switch on my camera. Just as a point of introduction, TED is a platform for ideas worth spreading, meaning we generally assist people in communicating whatever they believe in or they believe people must share with the world. Welcome, Gavin. I see you're a former TEDx speaker. Good to see you there. And what we're doing with We Define Tomorrow at University of South Africa is basically we are given the same opportunity that every TEDx platform gives to their communities, to the University of South Africa. As the University of South Africa, as you would have read in the media, recently got a new Vice Chancellor, Professor Puleng Lenkampula, and in Defining Tomorrow, in it being a leading institute of long distance learning on the continent, and being one of the first schools where online lessons was mandatory for everybody before UCT and FITS thought it can happen as well, we are going to be showcasing some of what our students, lecturers, staff, alumni is made of. We have some of the most phenomenal alumni, students, and staff in the country. From even people like Gavin Moffat, who is on this call. We have Shamila Rajawan, who will be sharing her first TED Talk with us and is founder of a menstrual cup sanitary wear, and many others like Dr. Dumi Makhatlela, who works with the DBSA, just to mention a few. But TED is a global platform for ideas worth spreading, devoted to idea worth spreading. TED means technology, education, and design. It was started in 1984 with the mission to build a platform where ideas can be spread, because back in those days it was kind of hard for people to learn or share new ideas on how to think of this world best practices when it comes to your own health, or even just the way of living. You will find that most of our TEDx audience are savvy, futuristic. They care about the planet. They care about their relationships. They care about each and every aspect of their life. They're great thinkers. They are people who are driven to making the world a better place. And this is what TED represents in essence. Without wasting any much of your time, I'm going to dive into a TED talk that fascinated me as an individual that will point from as we, you know, as we start this session. And it's a very short TED talk by Sango Dele, and it's called In Praise of Macro, yes, Macrofinance in Africa. So I'm gonna share my screen and get started.
Traditional prescriptions for growth in Africa are not working very well. After $1 trillion in African development-related aid in the last 60 years, real per capita income today is lower than it was in the 1970s. Aid is not doing too well. In response, the Bretton Woods institutions, the IMF and the World Bank push for free trade, not aid. Yet the historical record shows little empirical evidence that free trade leads to economic growth. The newly prescribed silver bullet is microcredit. We seem to be fixated on this romanticized idea that every poor person in Africa is an entrepreneur. Yet, my work and travel in 40+ countries across Africa has taught me that most people want jobs instead. My solution: forget micro-entrepreneurs. Let's invest in building Pan-African titans like Sudanese businessman Mo Ibrahim. Mo took a contrarian bet on Africa when he founded Celtel International in '98 and built it into a mobile cellular provider with 24 million subscribers across 14 African countries by 2004. The Mo model might be better than the everyman entrepreneur model, which prevents an effective means of diffusion and knowledge sharing. Perhaps we are not at a stage in Africa where many actors and small enterprises leads to growth through competition. Consider these two alternative scenarios. One, you loan $200 to each of 500 banana farmers, allowing them to dry their surplus bananas and fetch 15% more revenues at the local market. Or two, you give $100,000 to one savvy entrepreneur and help her set up a factory that yields 40% additional income to all 500 banana farmers and creates 50 additional jobs. We invested in the second scenario and backed 26-year-old Kenyan entrepreneur Eric Mutomi to set up an agro-processing factory called Stawi to produce gluten-free banana-based flour and baby food. Stawi is leveraging economies of scale and using modern manufacturing processes to create value for not only its owners, but its workers who have an ownership in the business. Our dream is to take an Eric Mutomi and try to help him become a Mo Ibrahim, which requires scale, financing, local and global partnerships, and extraordinary perseverance. But why Pan-African? The scramble for Africa during the Berlin Conference of 1884, where, quite frankly, we Africans were not exactly consulted, resulted in massive fragmentation and many sovereign states with small populations. Liberia, 4 million, Cape Verde, 500,000. Pan-Africa gives you 1 billion people, granted across 55 countries with trade barriers and other impediments. But our ancestors traded across the continent before Europeans drew lines around us. The Pan-African opportunities outweigh the challenges. And that's why we expanded Stawi's markets from just Kenya to Algeria, Nigeria, Ghana, and anywhere else that will buy our food. We hope to help solve food security, empower farmers, create jobs, develop the local economy, and we hope to become rich in the process. While it's not the sexiest approach, and maybe it doesn't achieve the same feel good as giving a woman $100 to buy a goat on kiva.org, perhaps supporting fewer, higher impact entrepreneurs to build massive businesses at scale Pan-Africa can help change this. The political freedom for which our forebears fought is meaningless without economic freedom. We hope to aid this fight for economic freedom by building world-class businesses, creating indigenous wealth, providing jobs that we so desperately need, and hopefully helping achieve this. Africa shall rise. Thank you.
So, Tangu, of course, this is strong rhetoric. You're making 100% contrast between microcredit and regular investment and growing regular investment. Do you think there is a role for microcredit at all?
I think there is a role. Microcredit has been a great innovative way to expand financial access to the bottom of the pyramid. But for the problems we face in Africa, when we were looking at the Marshall Plan to revitalize war-torn Europe, it was not full of donations of sheep. We need more than just microcredit. We need more than just give $200. We need to build big businesses and we need jobs.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Crime is inherently traumatic. A snapshot of the event.
I wonder how many of you agree with him to say, instead of making entrepreneurs of everyone who's jobless in Africa, we should be building bigger businesses. And if we can start off the discussion on that point, and be welcome to raise your hand or just open your microphone right now. We're just going to have a nice discussion as we go directly into. Yes, Gavin, please go ahead.
Hi, I've always thought that it's a myth that everyone needs to be an entrepreneur. And I've always thought it's a myth that everyone has to have a side hustle, because if you are an entrepreneur, you will know that there are different types of people in organizations. One of the chapters in my book, Swimming with Sharks, references the fact that people, you need worker bees, and that's not as an insulting term, it's people who do the hard work of organizations. That's the majority of people. There are very few actual people who are capable of being entrepreneurs. And so the people who are need to work harder to support the people who aren't the entrepreneurs. In other words, the people in their organizations, their teams. So I think it's a myth. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur, and not everyone, the other one I love is do your passion. Find a career that is your passion. And that's also another one of my pet hates, because I don't believe that that's actually true either.
That's so true. I found it fascinating because it goes against what is a lot of the movement currently, that everyone needs to be an entrepreneur. And personally myself, I'm an entrepreneur. Or rather, I actually don't like calling myself an entrepreneur. I'm a self-starter. I like using that word a little bit more because I think entrepreneur has been overused currently. And the definition of an entrepreneur is someone who builds something unique from scratch. And everyone who, even people in business, are being called entrepreneurs. And I find it fascinating how we get so lost in definition. I mean, in trying to romanticize a theorem such that we apply it in definitions that are not its own. But what I want to also highlight there is how he took his talk. If you were attentive, you will notice that was a very short talk. I think a lot of people think that a TED platform is a platform where they can do speeches that are longer than 18 minutes. And some get really discouraged when I tell them that you can't surpass the 18 minutes clock. And if your idea can be packaged in a shorter time frame, that's even better, because the attention span of people's attention span is a very hard commodity to capture. And this is why TED is popular. TED is popular for its 18-minute video formats that are short, easy to consume, and for you will never find a talk that's over 18 minutes. At most, it could be Bill Gates with a 20-minute talk, because it's Bill Gates. But if you are working towards doing your TED talk on this platform on the second, that is the first thing that you need to note. You will also note that there was a clear introduction, a clear body, and a clear outro. A TED talk has those three elements where the speaker introduces you to the talk. Firstly, in the beginning, it's usually in a way that evokes honest, contagious emotions, and as it goes into the body, you find the speaker throwing in some personal anecdotes and some background stories, so that the audience can relate to what he's speaking about. And in this case, it was a background story that actually supported his claim to say macro financing could be a better option for the economics of Africa. And then at the end, he rounded up his whole talk with stating the key points that back his idea with spreading. And if you note, his idea is one simple idea, that macro financing is a better way to build the economies of Africa. That's one simple idea. It is not that the government needs to do X, and then small businesses need to do this, and big business needs to start doing a little bit more BEE. It is not a whole complex construct. It is one simple idea that all of you got and all of you would appreciate. I'd love to get some more interaction in the crowd right now, and just to get a little bit of thoughts. And I'll throw it out with a question to say, what was your traditional myth of TED that maybe has been debunked by this conversation in the past few minutes? And don't be shy, it's not a platform for judgment. Nonhlanhla, you're about to assist me there, I see you.
Yes. Sorry. One of the myths that I have noticed from speakers is that they somehow think that TEDx is a platform for motivational talks.
Yes, thank you. So TED is not a platform for motivational talk. As motivating as that talk was given by Shugan, it was not a motivational talk. So TED does not approve for speakers to come and give motivational talks. And TED is not a platform for professional speakers who are trying to share NLP practices. It is purely a platform for ideas worth spreading. The ideas that you find on TED are usually lived experiences backed by research. And that's why some of the best TED Talks actually emanate from universities, because universities are platforms where research is done extensively. A TED Talk is good science at most. It is good science if you are doing it from an independent point without the backing of university research. It has to be science that is published journals. It's something that our audience can research and find out more when they dig deeper into what you're talking about. Like I said earlier on, we've got very savvy audience. And let me speak a little bit more about the TED audience for people who are preparing to speak on the TED platform. The TED has 37 million subscribers on its YouTube page. TED and TEDx separately, each around those numbers, 34 million, 37 million. And TEDx University of South Africa posts on the YouTube, on that same platform, meaning if you do a TED Talk with us, you have the same access as someone who's done a TED Talk in New York and UK, London, and Brazil, or even in Ghana. Now, with that type of audience, you have the ability to change perspectives, to influence new ways of thinking. And with such power and influence, we make it our number one priority to ensure that whatever you're about to say on the TEDx stage is not opinion. So if you are to give an opinion that cannot be validated during your talk, you will not be able to make it onto the website or the channel. I think you've noticed that there are people who in the past have been announced for speaking opportunities like TED, but have never had their talks published. And it could be because they stated an opinion that was then went on and on into the talk and could not be edited out and made the talk invalid. So opinions are something that TED shuns. And if it's anything, it has to be a lived experience that can be validated. Are there any questions about as well speaking on TED, if I may ask? I see people like Brenda Kubeka. I read your application. Emson Magwaza, Zanele, I also read your application. Tokozo Sabela, I see you're a speaker. Please don't be shy to engage. That's I'd love to get a little bit of your engagement as we proceed.
Do I have to raise a hand? I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Go ahead and listen.
Okay. No. So my point is, I'm not sure if you said you've read my my application. So I partly founded a community development organization, which I'm just gonna be typing my my website on the chat that also my fellow students can also have a look on. So my question is, do we have a certain topic that we need to interact on, or do I have to bring in my own ideas in terms of the given 18 minutes?
All right. Okay, we've got 10 minutes left. With the We Define Tomorrow event, we are looking for ideas that define tomorrow. I'll give you a typical example. Sorry.
That's fine. You can go ahead.
Yes, I'll give you a typical example. One of our speakers, a very young speaker, Tumi Muteko, is speaking on the responsibilities of an influencer. I think all of you are aware of the fast rising job role code and influencer. Some of you have engaged with a bit of them. And she exists in an age group where 1/3 of that population wants to be an influencer. And in that wanting, there are some responsibilities that come with having public influence. And she'll be sharing her ideas on what it takes to be an influencer who is responsible, especially in a day and age where you can literally do anything just to get the attention you need. So in this case, if you're to look at the South African landscape or the African landscape in general, and even, oh, Brenda is Tumi's mom. Right, awesome. And even the global stage, there hasn't been a TED Talk where I can allude to where they speak of influencer responsibility. And that's the type of ideas we're looking for. People who can speak about things happening in this world that define tomorrow. I think there are general ideas like, and this is not to trump community development. There's things like going for a soup drive. We've seen that time and time again. It's something that's, if a savvy person is sitting in Spain and is like, let me watch a YouTube, let me watch a TED Talk from Africa. That wouldn't fascinate them. That wouldn't, unless there is something so new, something innovative, something mind-blowing about how you've done that can teach or even inform the audience that is available globally. So when you bring in ideas to this type of platform, you have to take in mind that we are competing with a global stage, and the standard is not at a South African or at a UNISA level. It's at the global stage, and these are the type of ideas we are looking for, and our eyes are open to that. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you. I think that's more like clear enough. Is it possible for you to draft a document for us? I know I'm listening to you, but sometimes maybe I might skip some of the ideas which you have in mind. Draft a document, then maybe we can work around on it, maybe, and then just give you a feedback. I'm not sure when is the deadline or something like that to come up with the ideas.
Okay, so the deadline for applications closed today, and Emerson, thank you so much. I will be sharing with you some information that is also available on our website on what it takes to be a TEDx speaker. Mr. Green, I see your hand.
Okay, I just wanted to know, I did apply, but as are we still going to have to wait for feedback regarding the application to do a speech?
So I will start by correcting the last word you mentioned, which is the word to do with speech. It is a TED Talk.
Okay,
and there is.
That's all. Excuse me.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No problem. These applications are actually underway. Our team in the background, we have a team of 6 on our TED team. 4 of our teammates are with the applications, reviewing the final selection of speakers. And possibly by midnight, some of you would know whether your application has been accepted or not.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. I was just a little bit confused, you know. All right.
Thank you so much. I also want to greet, I see Daniel, we have a few people who've already are going to be speaking on the TEDx platform on the 2nd of October. Daniel Cole will be speaking on creativity. I'm forgetting his full TED Talk name, but please do say hi to the people here just for engagement. Daniel, will I be hearing a hi? That is all right, we will wait. We will move right ahead. So we've got about 4 minutes left until we end our time together. Key, sorry, Nonhlanhla. Okay.
Oh, can I go?
Yes, we cannot hear you clearly. I don't know if there's anything covering your microphone.
Okay, no problem. I just wanted to put these 4 guidelines out because a lot of our applicants got rejected due to these following things. So the first guideline is no commercial agendas. So the speakers are not expected to be like to give talks aiming for any commercial gain, right? And the second guideline is no political agendas or inflammatory rhetoric. The third guideline is no religious agendas. And the fourth guideline is very popular. It's a very popular mistake within the university community, and that is no bad science. I noticed even on yesterday's talk with the agricultural department, there was a woman there who was asking if could she be able to speak, even though her idea has not been thoroughly researched and there's no evidence confirming it. So the answer to that is no, and that's a very common mishap and a big reason why a lot of the university community is not getting accepted to do a talk.
Thank you so much, Nonhlanhla. I'll repeat those 4 points for those who didn't hear that. Some of the common mistakes we are noticing in the applications is that they are religious. There are actually 4 main no's when it comes to TED Talks, which is no religious agendas, no political agendas, no commercial agendas. So you cannot go on stage and sell your product or your company, or even if it is an MPO, you can only as far as state facts. So if you will notice with the gentleman with the TED Talk that we recently watched today, as much as he was speaking about his company and what they have achieved, it was a fact that his company did XYZ. He did not say, now look into us for investments, or we are looking for investments, or come and partner with us or anything. He just named a fact, which is they invested in the banana, gluten-free banana, I forgot what it is, but yes, in that product, and it achieved a certain market strides. And then the last part was no good science, only good science, meaning that whatever you put out has to be like, it has to have tangible results out there. And with that, I greatly appreciate that you joined us and managed to be with me and Nonhlanhla on this info session. This recording will be available on YouTube as well as other recordings from the previous and the new, upcoming talks. From me and Nonhlanhla at TEDx University of South Africa, it's goodbye for now.
Thank you and ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.